Welcome to Blonde Cards and Crafts. Let's make something together. Hello crafters and welcome to my craft room. Today we are going to make a card using the Papercraft Society Box 38, and if you don't know by now, I'm loving creating with this box. Today the card I'm making is going to be a collaboration. I'm making this card and I'm going to leave a link down below for the lovely Gemma Leigh crafts. Gemma is the design team member to Sam from Mixed Up Crafts, and Gemma and I just get on like a house on fire, and we thought we'd do a collab together. So I'm going to leave a link to Gemma's video, and she'll be using the products from this kit as well, and she's going to make a fabulous card for you to follow along and make with her. So I hope you'll have a look down in the description below. You'll find links to Gemma's card. You'll find links to my unboxing of this Papercraft Society if you haven't seen the unboxing of what came in this. I'll also leave links to the Your Cards and Crafts Facebook group. This is a group where you can share all the cards you make following my tutorial. So I hope you'll join us over there and share any cards that you make that I have shared on YouTube. What else? Is there any other housekeeping? No, I think that's it. Other than to tell you, this card is going to be an Easel Gatefold Spinner Card. So we did an Easel gatefold card and I loved making it, and I thought because of having a frame in this card, really it lends to making a spinner card. Now with the products we get in this Papercraft Society Box 38, the images that you can print up as well as the papers, etc., and what comes in the kit, we'd need a mirror image in order to do a spinner. So because we get downloadables, you can download the topper sheet and it comes with 6 images. They're the same as the stamps. These are the stamps of those images, and Daisy May kindly has coloured these in and put them on a sheet for us to download. So what I did was, in the settings on my printer, I got it to mirror image or flip over the images, and this is how it looks. Now you can fussy cut or die cut it out. If you die cut it out, just hold your paper up to the light like so and situate your die where you want it, and I have found that it cuts it out absolutely perfectly for me. I love it. And then what I can do is I can pop it on the back like so. So when our image is spinning around, we get the same image. So this is why I thought doing a spinner card for this would be so cool. So I have everything here ready that we're going to need. So this is our spinner pieces, and that's all done. Next we need 2 pieces of 6x12 cardstock. Now I do have a tutorial for an Easel Gatefold card on my channel, but not one that adds in the spinner, and I love making this card, so I thought, you know what, I'm going to make another one. So we have 2 pieces of 6x12, and I'm going to score this piece at 3 inches, and I'm making sure it's right up into the corner. So at 3 inches, and then again at 6 inches, and this is going to be for our easel card base. The other piece then we're going to use for the gatefold part of this card. So again, putting it right up and into the corner, I'm going to score this at 3 inches and at 9 inches, and these will give us the doors for our gatefold. Now I have some pattern paper to decorate these, so let's have a look at those. So for the gatefold part of our card, as I have everything here ready, we'll actually start with the easel part because I have it laid out here. So the easel part, we have it scored at 3 and at 6. We're going to fold that in half at the 6-inch score line, and then that'll give us a valley fold, and then we're going to fold this as a mountain fold. That's the 3-inch one. So they're actually both mountain folds, but it looks like a valley from this side. So our easel fold will sit like a top fold card, and this is how it'll sit up. So on this I have some papers for you. This piece is a pattern paper and it measures 5 3/4 by 5 3/4. I have another one here in white, the same size again, and I've got a strip of pattern paper. This measures 5 1/2 by 1 inch, and this is going to go on the back of our card, so we have somewhere to write our message. Now you could write it here at a white piece if you don't want to add this on the back, but I like the fact that when this is going to be displayed, you don't have a message on the front, so it's up to yourself. I then also have a piece of pattern paper. Now I'm going to use, I have some of these cut out already, but I want to decorate this piece of the easel base. So I'm using this pattern paper. Again, I've downloaded it from the downloads that you can find in the magazine as well as on the Facebook Papercraft Society Box 38 group. So that piece is going to go on there. Okay, so that's our easel base all sorted. The only thing we will need for our easel card is when it's in the stood up position, we need something to keep it in place. Now I have taken this stamp from my stash and it says dashing through the snow, and I thought because of the way our little polar bear is dashing down or sliding down, well, it's spinning, but that's the image it gives. I just thought this would be a really cool stamp to use here. So if you want to know where I got this stamp and the stamp that I used for Have a Merry Christmas, they came from these. These are from the Creative Stamping Magazine issue 114 that was out a couple of weeks ago, and you get these 2 large stamp sets in it and they're brilliant. You have your cats and your dogs and lots of great sentiments in it as well. So I used the Have a Merry Christmas from the cats one and Dashing Through the Snow from the dogs one. So just in case you wanted to know where I got those stamps from. Okay, so that is our easel card base. More or less, that's it. We'll be adding to that with our, gatefold card. So this is the gatefold base that we're going to put on our easel card. And I have, you've seen, I've scored it at 3 and at 9. And I just fold those 2 over to give us our gatefold card. Now, I have 4 pieces of pattern paper to go on those. So all together, including the one for our easel base, we have 5 pieces of pattern paper, and these measure 5 3/4 by 2 3/4. And you can find the measurements to all the pieces I used down in the description below. I'm going to put these 2 on the front panels, and then these 2 will go on the inside of our door. I've paused here because there is noise from outside and it seems to be a helicopter, and I will mention that, but this will happen a couple of times during recording. Sorry about that, a helicopter just flew over. Okay, so we have those done. Now we also have some cutting to do on that panel, so I'm going to talk to you about that next. We need to take a pencil and a ruler, and I have mine here. And what I want to do is I'm going to come up this time on my card base at 1.5 inches, and I'm just going to mark that on the score line there nice and lightly, and I'm going to do the same here with this one. So at 1.5 inches I'll make a little mark because I want to cut out the majority of this. So I'll do my pencil line there. So we're going to cut down along our score line, across our pencil line, and up our score line. I want to take this piece out here because I want to add a frame in there, and I'm adding this round frame. So this piece will sit in here like so, in between where we have our gatefold doors, and then we're going to have our our spinner is going to sit in here like so, and I'll have that at a little angle. So you can see here we have room above our pencil line for our spinner piece to spin. Now I've taken a second frame. This frame is made using the inverted scallop supersize nestables. I've used these and I've used these stitched circles. They're Creative Craft products that I've used to make this. So this frame has got the pattern paper on it, and then the cardstock that I've used for my card base, and I have those layered together. And I've also this one. This is going to go on the back. And the reason I want this in the back is the string that I'm going to use to make my spinner is going to be hidden between these two frames. Plus the thickness of these, this is a 300 GSM, this one here is 280, and my white with my pattern, I printed that up on 300 GSM. So I have a really nice strong frame for my spinner piece, because I didn't want that buckling. It's something that people are going to be playing with, so I wanted to make sure it'd be good and strong. So I have 1, 2, 3 layers for this piece, and like I said, that'll sit down there like so with our spinner piece in between. Now with this piece here and our bank cut across, you'll see the back of the card, and it doesn't look too neat and tidy. Plus I haven't cut all the way through. I use offcuts because I'm going to add a piece of white cardstock that I have cut out a snowbank and I have stamped on. So this is kind of going to hide what's going on at the background. So this piece measures 5 7/8 across, and then the height of it is about 1.5 inches at the highest, but I didn't come down any lower than 1.5 inches there in my snowbank. So you can cut yours to size. It will really depend on what your spinner piece is that you're going to use. Yours might be smaller, so you could do a higher bank. And you could also do layers as well. You could put 2 snowbanks in there if you wanted. Okay, so that's all that done. The last thing I wanted to talk to you about is the belly band for this card, and I have used this piece here. It's a long strip. It's I think it's 2.5. Is it 2 inches? It's 2 inches wide, and it's just the length of my cardstock to wrap around my card. And then my pattern paper is 1 3/4 in width, and again as long. This will wrap around, and I'm going to join where the two join together. I have punched out another little image of our polar bear and the bird, and then a little background for that to go on top. So that's all the pieces, other than I have die cut out the frosty, and that's in white and the same as the cardstock. This came in the kit that we got. I die cut out all the snowflakes using the dies that we got. I die cut them out twice, and I've also die cut out the letters to make up Christmas, and I used the Made to Surprise chunky alphabet die set for my Christmas letters. And then that's all the dies, not including this one that came here, and that's all the dies then that I used for in this. So that's all our bits and pieces. I would recommend you use something like a fishing twine or a clear string, something that's not braided or weaved because you want it to spin. This is some that we got in the Papercraft Society box 37. It's the Made to Surprise box, and I have some of that left, so I'm going to use that for my spinner part. Okay, so I'm going to go ahead now and clear all this lot off and glue down all my mats and layers, and we'll come back and do that together. So I'm working on the gatefold card now, and I'm cutting away the sides and across the bottom. And that then will have our gatefold piece ready. I can embellish the doors of the gatefold by sticking down my pattern paper, and I'm going with the red colors for this one, so it kind of looks like snowfall background. And then I'll have this beautiful pattern paper. I would love this for wrapping paper for my gifts this year. I just think it's so beautiful. So I have them down now, and that will match the card base, the easel base. So before we go any further, we need to die cut out a circular opening on our card so that when we pop our frame over it, our spinner piece can spin. Now, I would recommend when you do this, you put this piece on, but you don't have to have the inside and the back on. So our frame is going to, when it's in the closed position, sit like this on our card. So that'll give you an idea of where you need to use your die. So I'm going to use the die that cut out the inside of this frame. So I know it needs to go more or less in the middle, like so. So I'm going to add some washi tape on this, put it through my die cutting machine open so that it doesn't affect this part of my card, and then we can move on and attach our gatefold part to this. So let's do that next. So I have die cut this piece out using my die, and this will now sit up like so. And you can see there. Now when we put our piece on here, that'll sit on there. And then when we open this piece, our frame will sit on the top like that. And then we'll have this one for the back, and our little spinner will go in here. And then we have our little snowbank here, which will cover up. So it'll sit up like so. So we just need to attach all these pieces now. So let's do that next. So I'm adding the collal glue now to the frame here, and I'm going to stick onto that our gatefold base, and I've only put glue to the bottom part here. So once that's down, I can then add my frame to that and add my spinner part. So I'm going to add some of my twine to my spinner, and that way then I can add that to the frame and then add the frame to our card base. So I have my clear, this is like fishing string or twine, and what I'm going to do is I'll take my mirror image, and I want to add a little bit of double-sided tape to one piece. What I'm going to do then is add my twine, which you can't see, but I'm going to add this across the double-sided tape. Then once I have that in place and I'm happy with it, I can then put another piece of double-sided tape over that. Now I didn't really have it, you know, long on the top and the bottom, so I redid it there. So I've added my second piece now, and now I'm going to add some liquid adhesive all around the rest of the image, and I'll add a little over the double-sided tape as well. That way then I can place this on top of it, and I can press down so it's firmly stuck in place. And then we'll have our little twine then at the top and bottom that we can stretch out on our frame. So I'm going to put the back frame down, and I'm going to stick my image onto that first, and then I can line up my front frame. So I'll add a little bit of double-sided tape here to the top, and then I'll add a little bit to the bottom. Now make sure you pull this taut. You don't want any slack in it. Otherwise, once you spin it a couple of times, it'll be a little wonky on the spin. So pull it tight when you're pulling that, and then stick it down. I know some people like to use hot glue, and I sometimes do myself, but between the double-sided tape and then joining the two frames together using collal glue, once that collal dries, it's going to be really stiff and strong. So now I'm introducing the frame with the spinner to the card base, and I want to make sure that I have my little polar bear there at a jaunty angle, but I want the words on my pattern paper straight. So once I have that set in place, I can then put my snow hill over the top. And again, I'll use the collal there. You could use a little foam tape if you wanted, but I'm going to stick this straight down. And I'm just pinching the whole thing together then and putting a bit of pressure from the back. And I love this. It really looks so cool. I'm really delighted with this. So now, there we go. We just need to do a few more little things. I want to put my stopper down, and you can have your stopper, whatever you use as a stopper, anywhere on this bottom piece. I want my spinner standing up quite upright, so I'll have it about 2/3 of the way up. And I've used double layer of foam tape on my dashing through the snow, so it's raised up and it'll work well as a stopper. I have my frosty die cut here. I was thinking about putting it on the frame, but I'm going to add that onto the gatefold door here on the left hand side. And I'll just use my quick grab glue for that. Now I had my word Christmas die cut out, but I didn't like how it looked on the card, so I'm adding wish to it. The word Christmas was too big to sit in front of the snowdrift, and that's why I'm straddling it across the whole bottom of the gatefold. And I have to say, I love this look. I'm actually happier with it this way than the way I was planning. I've got all these beautiful snowflakes, and I'm going to decorate now my gatefold doors inside with them. I won't put any on the outside because I don't want it to hinder the belly band that we'll put on around this to keep our card closed. So I'll add a couple to the frame, I'll add a couple then to the doors, and I have a little one there beside the wish. And once I have those added, then I'm going to add a couple to the base in front of where I have my dashing through the snow. And I just love this. It just looks so good. I was playing with it for ages there before I started doing the voiceover for this part of the video. Just spinning it and playing with it. It's just, yeah. It's definitely as much an adult card as it is a kid's card. So here we go, I'm adding some of the snowflakes, and one of those snowflakes, it has little heart die cuts, and I take those little bits and I embellish the card using them because they do look like little hearts and they add a little silver sparkle to the card base. So I've kept one of my snowflakes for the back of the card, and I'm going to add this on top of the blue snowflake under the word Christmas, but I'll have it so that you can see the blue stamped snowflake through our silver snowflake, and it does look cool. And then I have a couple of those little hearts. I've added them around it, and I've got just a couple left here, so I'm going to add these to the frame. So next I'm going to work on the belly band, and I'm centering my closed card over my belly band strips, and I'm going to wrap them around the card. I want them tight enough that it'll hold the card closed, but I want it loose enough that I can slide it up and down. I'll add a little bit of glue behind where my topper is going to be, and there we go. I've wound up my little image inside, so when we take off the belly band and we open our card up, it will then spin. And I love this. I think it just looks so cool. I hope you can see. I'm going to take a little video and put it in with the pictures so you can see the whole thing spinning when the card is opened. It's kind of hard to show you at this angle, but I really love it. I think it's such a cool an unusual card. We have room on the back then to write our message, and this really is a mantle pleaser display card with our Christmas wish there across the bottom. So I hope you've enjoyed my card. If you have, I hope you'll give it a thumbs up. If you're a subscriber, thanks for subscribing, and if not, you may click on the subscribe button, and that way you'll be notified each time I post a new video. Don't forget to have a look at Gemma's card. The link is down below in the description, and if you do make this card, please share it with us all on the Your Cards and Crafts Facebook group. So that's it. I'm going to leave it there, folks. I hope you've enjoyed the card, and I will see you soon with another one. Until next time, take care, stay safe, and bye for now. Bye.